Hey everybody, Greg Pruitt here with Idaho Dispatch. It is January 17th, 2021. It is Sunday, and it's just about noon here in at least the mountain time zone. I know for those watching up in northern Idaho, it is 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, but we're coming down to the Capitol. We wanted to see if anybody showed up. We did a report the other day. And talked about how there was supposed to be a nationwide armed marches on the capitals in all 50 states. That's what the FBI said. And they said that a group was planning to storm the Capitol and all sorts of stuff. So what we wanted to do was kind of come down, and all the conservative groups that we had reached out to, People's Rights, Ammon Bundy's group, Eric Parker, the Idaho 3%, the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance, the MAGA girls, all the groups that would typically do a Second Amendment type event, all advise their members to stay away, okay? But we wanted to come down just in case stuff was happening, because that's what reporters do, and see if anybody shows up, if nobody shows up, and kind of give you guys the scoop. So I see at least one Boise police officer. Let me flip this around. Make sure you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah, stay warm. I totally forgot my gloves, so that's going to suck. But hey, the good news is if nothing's really happening, this may not be a very long report. So I do see a few citizens over there. There's one Boise PD. There's typically always an ISP car here, but I do not see one at all. So yeah, we're gonna come down. I mean, there's a little family here, but I doubt that family has anything to do with what is happening. There's some other folks over here who do not look like they're any part of this. So the Boise PD folks do look like they are stationed there to kind of watching. You guys can see, I mean, around the Capitol, there's just nothing happening. And I came from over in this direction here, and nothing was happening. The Boise PD's right there. And then, you know, typically when there's big, large events, there's always a bunch of people here. So right now, it is about noon. And again, we could not find one organization that was planning on being here today. And it's Sunday. The Capitol is usually locked on Sundays at this time. But we are not seeing anybody here at all other than this one family who I assume is probably not here. It looks like they're just here to take some pictures. So I'm going to go up to the steps and see what we can see up here. I'm pretty sure, again, that it's locked. But, you know, just in case some people showed up and started doing stuff, we wanted to be on the ground for you guys. You know, the media tried to say, the FBI was trying to say that there was going to be armed protests, and a lot of the capitals, like in the Utah Capitol, they locked the whole thing down. Some capitals put up fences everywhere, all around the Capitol. But other than the one Boise Police Department vehicle, I don't see anybody. There's like nobody here. I kind of thought maybe some people would show up just because the flyers were going around and wouldn't know any better. Maybe some people did already. But as of right now, there is nobody here. And I believe it's locked today. Let me try the door. Yeah, so it's locked today, by the way. If you come down to the Capitol, these are the signs. So there's not a requirement to wear a mask or to social distance in the Capitol, but they did put signs up there asking people to. So for those just tuning in, today was supposed to be the nationwide armed marches on the Capitol, on all the capitals, and every conservative group that we spoke with denied that they were going to have any part of today. Most of the conservative groups that we talked to felt that the flyers that were being passed around were part of what may have been the left, people on the left, creating the flyers to try and instigate something. There was the only source, let me turn this around here real quick. The only source that we could find on this whole armed march thing that was supposed to happen today was from the FBI. Like, they were the only ones. So in years past, there have been nationwide movements to put armed protests not armed protests, but Second Amendment rallies at capitals. And usually you can track it back to some blogger or one group or somebody. There's somebody out there you can track it down to and find out where it's coming from. But with this particular thing that was supposed to happen today, nothing. I mean, there was nothing other than the FBI saying an armed group is going to storm all 50 capitals, and that's why the conservative group said they were going to stay away, was because they didn't want to come down here if there were some bad actors who did some stuff, right? And they didn't want to have their groups be anywhere near that. So let me see, is there any comments or questions? That was my logo on my hat's backwards. Sorry about that. We'll actually have these beanies on for sale here shortly on the website. Beanies and hats if you guys want a hat. So yeah, right now, let me flip this back around. Maybe. There we go. So for those that are unaware, I don't know what time it is. What time is it right now? It is, 12:04. And the only people we are seeing right now that are here are just people that look like they're taking pictures at the Capitol. Okay. And so I'm going to kind of come down out of the way because it looks like they want to get pictures, probably without me in it. But I will make a lap around the Capitol just to make sure we don't see anything happening on the other end. So if you guys have never been here, this is a lot of the times where a lot of marches will come up through Capitol Boulevard here, and that leads straight up to the Capitol, and you can kind of come this way and then all the way around the Capitol. So I'll kind of walk around real quick the whole building just to see if there's anything happening, but so far we see absolutely nothing. Like, there's nobody here. And so if maybe you guys see something happening in other states right now at state capitals, but we even had we were seeing national pundits, and there's a squirrel. That might be our culprit right there. He's trying to break in. We had national pundits and everything that were telling groups not to show up at the Capitol Day. Now, I have been told that this coming Wednesday, on Inauguration Day, they're hearing more chatter. Some of the legislators have told us that they're hearing more chatter that bad groups. They mentioned Antifa specifically. We're planning on coming to the Capitol here on Wednesday, the day of the inauguration, to cause problems. We're trying to get any kind of sources. So for those that don't know or didn't come down here, this, by the way, is until Election Day, the BLM, the Black Lives Matter folks, had a group out here every day from like June something, I can't remember, June 3rd maybe, all the way until the Election Day, and then they've kind of gone away now. But the Capitol is all locked up. Even during the day, a lot of the doors are locked to the Capitol lately. They've kind of had everybody going through a couple doors, and so you can't really go in a lot of the normal doors that you would go into. They've kind of funneled everybody into a couple of doors, it seems like. So we're on the north side here. So this is State Street, for those that are unaware. But yeah, guys, I mean, there's just nobody down here. Normally, even it's a little chilly out today. Maybe that's kept some of the regular tourists away, but typically speaking, there's even more tourists, taking pictures in front of the Capitol than what we just saw a minute ago. So we're going to make our way back around. But yeah, just not seeing anybody anywhere. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'd love to have you guys as monthly supporters. We got to keep building up our monthly supporters. I think we're around 50 right now, just over 50. And so if you guys wouldn't mind becoming a monthly supporter, it's idahoddispatch.com/donate. The link's in the description. And yeah, so you can sometimes park over here, but I don't see, I mean, there's some vehicles over there, but I just don't see people walking around. Another entrance that you can typically go in. There's nobody up there though. And yeah, for $2.97 a month, guys, if you're tired of the lamestream media or the mainstream media and you want something without all the bias and all that stuff, somehow I turned my light on here. Then we'd love to have you guys as supporters. $2.97 a month. I don't know what a cup of coffee costs these days because I don't drink coffee, but I imagine it's probably more than $2.97. Skip a cup of coffee or one beer or something, whatever it is. And so another entrance down here. Again, nobody. I don't even see the ISP here, which is kind of strange. Given the potential threat, I would have thought the ISP would have showed up. So now we're almost back to the front of the building. And I didn't see anybody, at least anybody around the Capitol grounds. And now everybody's gone. Unless they're up there. So yeah, if people were expecting, if the FBI was expecting a armed march on the Capitol today, it has failed miserably. I'm trying to look in the distance, just see if there's anybody out there that might, cause a problem. So we're back to the bell in the front of the Capitol. So let me see. Somebody said never skip beer. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I may stick around here for a few more minutes and just see. But part of the reason we started Idaho Dispatch was because I'm actually going to go across the street here. We just got sick and tired of both sides of the story don't get told, especially in political stories, right? One side is always getting left out, and far too often the reporters put in their own bias in the articles, and it's getting really bad. And that's why back in June we started Idaho Dispatch, because we got sick and tired, just so you can see where I am. We got sick and tired of all the bias, and we thought it can't be that hard to just report the facts, right? Here's what this side says, here's what this side says, here's some pictures or emails to back up what is being said, and that's it. So there is another Boise PD there. And again, they do, you'll see them driving around even during the day when there's not some anticipated event. You'll see them driving around. There's an individual. Not sure what they're doing there. So it's not uncommon just to see Boise PD driving around. Although the one Boise PD officers that are parked down there, that is not typical. So I imagine they probably are here for, something that might have happened. But generally speaking, right about there, or even sometimes right up here, there will be an ISP officer almost all the time. And so it's kind of strange that they didn't have anybody here, and maybe they've parked somewhere else, in case they were worried about vandalism. Maybe they parked their vehicle somewhere else. And I imagine, guys, I'll be honest with you, I talked to the ISP officers throughout the week as we were discussing, potential issues that might come. And I would not be surprised if there are ISP officers in the windows up here somewhere, watching and just kind of seeing what's happening. Probably looking at me going, who's that guy? But other than these life-threatening geese here, there doesn't appear to be anything going on. There are some people over there, but again, this is pretty typical to see people on the picnic tables and stuff. And I see I have seen no armed individuals walking around, although it's Idaho, so armed people is really not that big of a deal. But yeah, I'm not seeing any marches or anybody coming from either side, right? I'm not seeing anybody that would typically resemble either a, your typical gun owner or an Antifa type person. So this guy used to be the governor of Idaho, Stuenberg. Anyway, well, yeah, somebody talked about real news. That's yeah, those geese are terrible. So let's see. But with the whole like armed protests and stuff, you would have thought the media would have showed up today to at least do what I'm doing, right? I even told my wife when I left, I said I may not be here long. I may not be here very long because if nobody shows up, then there's not really much to talk about. So, but yeah, guys, our goal is to bring you real news, just articles. Even with people, I have my own biases. I have my own thoughts and opinions on a lot of stuff, but you know what? That stuff does not make it into our articles, or we do our very best to make sure it doesn't make it into the articles. And so, our goal is to give you news with no bias, is the best that we can. We're certainly not going to claim that we're perfect. And then the other thing is we try to balance it out. So I'll reach out to people who I don't typically agree with and just say, hey, how do you feel about this situation? And do you have a comment about this, and try to get their side of the story. And so that's always being done. So yeah, right now it is just all quiet here. Literally nothing is happening. There's a guy walking. Okay, he's not by the Capitol. And there was a few people by the Capitol when I first got here, but it was a family taking pictures and some other people taking pictures. So I think Idahoans can, at least for now, something could always happen after I leave, rest assured that nothing is happening here in the state of Idaho. We will be back down here on Wednesday again to report to you guys, because there has been some discussion about what may happen on Inauguration Day, and that we are being told, at least by some legislators, that Antifa and another environmental group, I can't remember the name of it, Greenpeace First or something like that, we are told that they may show up here on Wednesday to try and potentially cause problems. And so somebody said, be careful, the geese are probably insurrectionists. They are, man. Have you ever walked by geese, and when they want some food, they're brutal. And I'm at a height where it's not pleasant. So, but yeah, so we'll definitely be back down here on Wednesday. Be sure to share this video. Honestly, everybody thought that a lot of bad stuff was going to happen today. The media is not here. They're nowhere to be found. But share this video and let everybody know. Nothing happened in Idaho, at least until the time that I left. Okay. It's always possible I leave and they come at another time. But one of the flyers didn't have a time. One of the flyers said noon. And it's past noon now. Oh, there's another Boise PD car. Sorry, that came. Yeah, it's 12:15 and nobody has showed up. I assume at this point, for those just tuning in, Greg Pruitt here with Idaho Dispatch. We are down at the Capitol, and there is literally nothing happening. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. You almost never see it this empty, but it is kind of chilly out. So maybe some of the tourists and visitors who would normally come and take pictures are not here. But yeah, it is just not normally this empty. And again, there's typically an ISP officer that will be down here. There are a couple Boise PD officers who I believe are probably here for just kind of watching the Capitol a little bit. And that's probably common given what is happening. But they are typically not here driving around. Normally ISP is the ones that cover the Capitol. Okay, and they're the ones that come and do the patrolling and stuff. So there were supposed to be a nationwide armed marches across another Boise PD there. armed marches across the country at all the 50 state capitals, and again, all of the conservative groups and other groups that would typically go to something where they're, a Second Amendment rally. None of them call it an armed march, but a Second Amendment rally. None of them said that they were coming today. They all felt like it was potentially a setup, and that it was the left who was going to, if a bunch of gun owners showed up, the concern from the conservative groups was the gun owners show up, and then some one person from the other side, they say, comes and damages the Capitol, and then the gun owners get blamed for it. And so that's why a lot of the gun groups and other conservative groups just didn't show up today. There is 2 Boise PD officers down there. There's another one down here, and I want to say he's not at the light, but I can't tell. And another one drove by a minute ago, so as far as I can tell, again, there's just nobody here. There was a couple tourists. I walked around the entire Capitol, didn't see anybody, didn't see anything. But we will definitely be back down on Sunday on Wednesday. We will be back down on Inauguration Day. We are told that there may be some potential bad actors on that day, and so we will come. I may drive all the way down here for nothing again, which is good. We don't want anything to happen regardless, but we'll definitely come back down. So, and again, the ISP may have some folks up in the Capitol watching somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised, but I really am a little shocked that they don't have at least one vehicle here, unless they didn't want to do it because they anticipated maybe it would get vandalized if something did happen. So, yeah, there's just nobody here. And typically on a Sunday in Idaho, Idaho is very much, a very big Christian and LDS population, and so you typically don't see anybody out and about as much on Sunday. You can go down the I-84 in a relatively quick amount of time because there's just no traffic. So, but I'm just kind of looking around, seeing if I see any cars that maybe look suspicious, or anybody that may be just sitting around. But again, just not seeing anything. So let me see if anybody's got any more questions. Somebody said they're nursing a hangover, or maybe the other people are. Let's see. Somebody said they're showing up because you look suspect. And to be fair, that's probably a fair assessment. Maybe the Boise police are here and watching me now going, who the heck is this guy? I have my hat on, so I was kind of hoping if that was the case, that I did have, the Idaho Dispatch hat on, that they kind of knew who I was. But anyway, I'm walking around videotaping stuff, so I did see, a guy over here. I'm not sure who he is. I can maybe try to go talk to him. But yeah, there's just nobody around. Oh, almost saw a crash though. So another Boise PD officer over there. I think he was the one that was just behind me, because there's still one back behind me on that side. But yeah, so he's backing in over there. For those just tuning in, again, down at the Capitol, all the conservative groups said to stay away from the Capitol today because there was supposed to be an armed march, which, again, the conservative group said they never call it an armed march. They'll call it a Second Amendment rally. And I figured I would drive down here, check it out, see what was going on, make sure that we covered anything that did or did not happen. And again, so far, yeah, there's definitely another officer down there. And they're all just kind of watching, which, again, is a little strange because I would think the ISP would have had their guys driving around more than the Boise PD, but right now the Boise PD does have a few cars. This individual's getting some exercise, their third lap around now. And there was another guy that just went over there, had a mask on and stuff, but I don't see where he went. I think he was over in that direction somewhere. Anyway, so right now, again, nothing happening, guys, at all. I can maybe walk around one more time and just make sure, but I'm shooting video at the Capitol. Yes, I am doing video at the Capitol. I don't want to use the word shooting anymore because, somebody might come in here and throw me in handcuffs. So, yeah, there's one gentleman up there, but not much has happened. So, again, I appreciate you guys, being a part of the Idaho Dispatch, sharing the articles. We appreciate those of you who are members and supporters. Again, if we're ever going to do something different than what the media typically does, then we've got to build up the Idaho Dispatch to where we could hire people and all that kind of stuff. But that's going to take thousands and thousands of you becoming supporters. So in the first 6 months, we've got 50 monthly supporters, which is fantastic. But we've got to increase that significantly. So if this type of reporting and this type of coverage is something you enjoy, $2.97 a month. IdahoDispatch.com/donate. $2.97 a month. If you own a business and you want to have your business get some ads put in our stuff, then reach out to me as well. And that's info@IdahoDispatch.com. Mixing up my groups here. And info@IdahoDispatch.com. And if you've got a company that you'd like to do some donations through advertising or just advertise, let us know. I thought I saw another person walking around. Let me flip this around. Stand still. Well, I was kind of standing still. I was trying to get over here on this other side of the Capitol just to see if I could see anybody. You want me to stand still? Is there a certain angle or part of the Capitol you want to look at? I'm just trying to give you lots of different views of what is happening. So again, that police officer over there now. This guy over here looked like maybe he was looking for something or, just seeing what was going on, or maybe he's out for a walk. Who knows? And just not seeing anybody that doesn't look like they're just walking around. Although there could be some plainclothes police officers as well that we're seeing. You never know. So I'm going to try to go around. I'm just going to peek out the back and then I'll come back around the front and then I'll probably wrap it all up from here. Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good. All right, go this way. How are you? Yeah, again, not seeing anybody around here. There are a lot of entrances to the Capitol. The Capitol is locked today. So, yeah, and not seeing anybody else at all other than this gal who's, how are you? Making rounds around the Capitol. All right, let's see. Should head back this way. It is a little chilly out. My hands are getting frozen because I forgot my gloves.
Intriguing though, huh? Yeah.
You guys just visiting?
We're looking for a key.
A key?
Unlocks the box. Yeah, we're a part of like a treasure scavenger hunt thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Okay. Well, that sounds like fun. All right. So I did talk to those two guys. If you guys couldn't hear that, I did talk to those two guys that were standing by the statue there, kind of behind me here. And they said that they were part of some group that's doing a scavenger hunt for some key, I guess. So, geocaching. That's kind of what I thought, maybe geocaching, but it sounded like they were looking for something specific as opposed to just going to a specific place. I don't want to walk through the grass. So, all right, guys. Well, again, I'll make it to the front and then we'll wrap it up because I just don't think anything is going to happen, which is good. If everything is calm and peaceful, that is always a good thing in my opinion. Let's see. So do you think there really was an Antifa guy picked up the other day? I don't know enough about the guy that was picked up the other day to give you anything that factual that I would be able to know. So I don't want to comment on that. Again, all right, back at the front, still the same officer. I don't see anybody out in the front still, other than this one gal who's like on her third or fourth lap around the Capitol. We saw some people that took pictures together with their families and stuff when I first got here. And other than that, there is, straight back, you can kind of see it, straight back behind that white car, another a Boise police officer. You'll see people walking around the park and stuff, but again, that's fairly typical, usually more actually than what you're seeing now. And just not seeing anything, guys. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, please share this video, give us a thumbs up, and then become a monthly supporter at idahodisPatch.com/donate. And $2.97 a month, $2.97 a month. That helps us kind of hopefully get better equipment, get our name out there more, and do all sorts of other stuff that we're hoping to do. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Take care, and if you have any other questions, let me know. If you guys hear of something that starts once I leave, then let me know as well. And we'll talk to you soon.